I'm on Rossi duty.
Look at that tweet. Hawkeye's on Hawkeye.
Yeah, so I guess you guys are really in sit and wait mode for that, huh?
Yeah, hey, we got nothing going on right now. What's this Wordle thing I keep hearing everyone about? Do you know this Wordle?
I don't know, but I saw Mac
People are
doing it,
tweeting
and
about it.
one of the people on that we had on TLDR.
Yeah, I mean, I saw like KFC, from Barstool was talking about it, and everyone else, Mac, and a couple other people.
I mean, it may very well just be another trend that's going to die off, and
Well, what do you do to fads, Nick? You add an E at the end, and they just fade away.
100%. Yep, I like that. I can get behind that one.
Oh yeah, I don't know where I heard that. That's from probably an old like English teacher or something like that.
Tell you what, I know why you executed it perfectly, because we actually technically haven't started the show yet.
Yeah, we haven't started the show, but I got something good for us here. I got something good. What I'll bring this up actually when we are doing the show, because this is an interesting story. But I think we're good here. How do you feel?
I am good. Yeah, I checked over the news already. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I forgot to run that by you before, but yeah.
You see this? I got SpaceX here.
Oh wow, look at you.
My cousin-in-law, I guess, my step cousin. I don't know. My stepmom's nephew works on the F9 rocket for SpaceX.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a little swag.
Stepmom's nephew. That's your step cousin. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess whatever. If it even goes that far.
Is that what you call Julia these days now?
Oh boy. All right, let's get started here.
Hey, it'd be totally fine. Just saying.
All right. 3, 2, 1. This podcast is straight out of Massachusetts and is on a mission, an impossible mission, to find the perfect pitch that will awaken the force of 7 furious minions that will bring about the age of Ultron. And welcome back to another edition of the Change My Mind podcast. I am, of course, Wesley Sykes, and through the other side of the ether is the Hugh Glass to my bear, Mr. Nicholas J. Esquire, cartographer for hire. There we go. I had to think of that on the spot there. This week, we're going to be building the best cinema of 2015 movies. We're going to be having a very special guest that we'll be introducing a little bit later on, Nick. But how are you today?
I'm great. I'll tell you what, I'm really excited after that intro, because other than that you had to think on the spot there, and you did a good job. But that was all your own writing, all put together. So I like that a lot. It was well done.
Not too bad. Hugh Glass, he is a cartographer, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's kind of what his whole deal was in the Revenant. It's kind of mapping out, like doing some Lewis and Clark type stuff.
Maybe. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's
trading some beaver pelts along the way. Yeah,
I think so. It sounds right.
I don't know.
Right. I don't know. I don't know many cartographers. So
no. I don't either.
I think
we should come back to it. Can you imagine that, trying to make a map? Like that's just wild stuff.
No thanks. Hard pass on that. I have a pretty good sense of direction, but I don't think I could do that.
I also have a good sense of direction, contrary to what my wife might say. I also could not do that. But that is not the intro question that we have here. My question for you, Nick: are you a VIP anywhere? VIP anywhere? You get special treatment?
I don't. Well, I mean, I think as reporters, we used to get special treatment in some capacity at certain events that we would cover.
Oh yeah, but I mean, even something on a smaller scale, maybe your local coffee shop. You don't even have to come in and make your order. The person behind the register just kind of knows you. So
I was a VIP at Toy Vault. But Ed's no longer at the location that I went to, so I don't go there anymore because he's in a different, like he's in Rhode Island now, in a different part, like too far for me to drive to. But yeah, I would say Toy Vault was a place I was. Other than that, I don't know, Wes. I think I've had places over the years. I just nothing.
Restaurant, restaurant or bar or something where everyone knows your name.
I think I had a restaurant in college that I had. I mean, I know I went to a certain place in Evanston a lot, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. Why? Do you have one?
Well, I bring this up because the wife and I, as I'm chewing on a peanut here, we went out to brunch yesterday at a very lovely spot in Hyannis, the West End. Highly recommend, right by the Cape Cod Melody tent. And my buddy is a cook. He's a sous chef in the kitchen there. And
Oh,
he gets our ticket of our order, and it says VIP underneath, and he takes a photo and sends it to us. And he was asking our waiter, he's like, "Hey, did you put that on because like you knew that we knew him?" And he was just kind of doing that like as a nice thing. He's like, "No, it just pops up that way." We've gone to this place a handful of times. I swear the wife, the lady owner, has a lady crush on my wife. They
oh,
have some things where they like talk over social media and stuff like that. So we get like free stuff all the time, limoncello
really?
shots and like very top notch treatment there. We don't deserve
Wow.
it by any means, but I was very shocked to find that out.
Oh, well, that's a pretty sweet deal. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty nice. Also, I was wearing a very fly cable knit sweater. And this was the second time that I've had this happen to me where I look across the room and see an elderly person wearing the same thing that I'm wearing. And it was harsh. It was
That's
tough.
rough. That is
Mhm.
brutal. I
He was
can't.
rocking it better than I was too.
Oh, well, that's the worst. That's funny.
Nice blue Oxford on underneath. He was rocking it.
We were in Portsmouth for a couple days last week because Lauren had the week off from work, and we actually had this something similar happen where we were in Portsmouth, and she's wearing this winter hat that I got her for Christmas, and then across the restaurant at the coffee shop, someone else is wearing the same friggin' hat, and I was like, what the fuck? It's
You
weird
gotta
though.
fight to the death there. It wasn't an old lady though. I mean, that's what really hurts. Is that like
Mm,
I have a similar sense of style as like a geriatric man
that
on
does hurt.
dialysis, so something like that.
I can't. I mean, but you got that Jalen Brown jersey, so I mean, like that's like
That's
what a
true. It does
12-year-old would
kind of
wear.
balance it out a little bit there.
Yes,
Um, speaking of geriatrics and near death, Bob Saget dead at 65. A hard segue here.
that's a fun way to do it.
Real sad. America's dad here.
That's a
lot-
good way to do it, Wes. You know, I'll tell you what, Bob Saget
I'm
would
reacting
appreciate
to
that.
some people right now. It's funny. But yeah, Bob Saget dead at 65. Tragedy. We're not really sure because he was America's dad. America's Funniest Home Videos. What was the other one? Family Matters. And then of course kind of gets the second life as being this really like raunchy comedian. Kind of really lets his inner personality show. Gets away from that, kind of clean cut dad image.
Did you say Family Matters? Because okay, it was he. I have
No,
no
Full
idea.
House.
Yeah. Okay.
Full
Thank you.
House.
All right.
It's all TGIF in there.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just I never watched that, so I was really confused. But yeah, Full
Yeah,
House. I mean,
you pull up you pull up the Family Matters cast. You're like, this doesn't look like Danny Tanner.
yeah, so I was like, what? But yeah, with Full House, so that ran in from 87 to 95. Didn't realize that, but I remember watching that a ton as a kid.
Love it. Love
And
that
I mean,
show.
and that's how I was introduced to him. So like,
He was kind of a dork, He was kind of a dweeb, and then you hear him on like Howard Stern, and he's like, this guy's awesome.
to hear that this is the, and then later on in life too, it was he was the voice for old Ted Mosby on How I Met Your Mother, only to then find out Ted
Right.
Mosby was playing old Ted Mosby by the end of the show. Very frustrating ending, but regardless, yeah, it's weird to hear him do those two voices, and then it's like, oh, this guy's like one of the raunchiest comedians out there. It's just still blows me away.
Do you have a favorite Bob Saget moment?
No,
Favorite role?
I mean,
A preferred Bob Saget role?
I'll tell you what, like I do, like when I think of him, I don't think of like the comedian. I think of what he did on like the corny dad that he was on Full House, and I don't know. That's like I definitely get nostalgic feelings. Like I like certain memories pop up for me
Mhm.
watching that show as a kid with him, Uncle Jesse, Joey, and of course the daughters. But yeah, I can't say I have a specific moment, but I do get a certain feeling when I think about him.
I do love America's Funniest Home Videos, but
Mm.
this favorite moment actually coincides with a similar moment that I talked about with Norm Macdonald, and it was during the Bob Saget roast. I thought that was one of the better roasts that Comedy Central
Mm.
did, but specifically Norm Macdonald's roast of Bob Saget, very anti-roast. So I really like what they did there. Funny stuff nonetheless.
Mhm.
R.I.P. Bob Saget. Maybe that was a little better justice. Kind of a hard transition there to open.
I think he would have appreciated it if anybody would have put him in him.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Someone's looking down, having a smile, having a laugh right now.
Mm.
It looks like we have our first rumor of Robin perhaps entering the DCEU with a leaked photo of this set dressing from Batgirl. Kind of has an updated look of the Keaton Batman '89 suit with the yellow emblem and the cape and really defined cape and cowl. And then it looks like a boy Robin. You are a little bit more well versed with the Robin universe than I am, so maybe you could. I'll turn the reins over for you to this. But good stuff.
Well, so what we've been told, right? What Casey's been talking about, and some other people. By the way, when we have Casey on, I don't know how much it's going to be an MCU update because he's been tweeting a lot more about DC stuff, and it makes sense.
A lot more DC stuff coming.
Yeah, with Batman coming up especially. But I think right now, what we know is that with Batgirl, she's more than likely going to be like a Batgirl Beyond kind of situation. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be Barbara Gordon, but Michael Keaton's going to be older, obviously, kind of have to in this situation. So the Robin that we're seeing there, that image, could be somebody else who's like, what they might have looked like when they were younger. So we're going to get maybe more like a Nightwing down the line. So when he says, I see Robin, I don't assume that's like Dick Grayson now. Like if it could easily be Dick Grayson down the line, because that still looks like as much as it's an updated Michael Keaton Batman, it's still younger, it seems like. So I think we're seeing Dick Grayson at least.
So not the Tim Drake, right? Because that's like the real young Robin in the comic books, right?
The youngest one is Damian Wayne.
There we go. Now. My mistake.
Then Tim Drake, then Jason Todd, and then Dick Grayson. So that's why I would assume that's Dick Grayson that we're seeing. And as we saw this, I was kind of thinking like, who would I want to see cast as Dick Grayson? The actor who's playing him now in Titans, his name escapes me, but he's done well enough. That show is solid. But I was actually thinking, like,
I heard the CW is closing down. Like, I heard they haven't made any turned a profit in like its 15 years of existence or something.
I'm blown away by that. But that is not a CW show. But I don't know how that's the case. That just seems like somebody's doing a really terrible job on the business side of things over there because they've had some good shows. I mean, I loved Arrow, and a lot of people liked Flash.
That's not a CW show that you were saying?
It was a DC Universe show. And now it's an HBO show. But regardless, I was thinking, Wes, and I wanted to run this by you for Dick Grayson. I know you're not as well versed in the DC Universe, but Andrew Garfield as Dick Grayson.
I like that. I could see that. Sure, I could have a little fun with it. You could play it younger a little bit more. It doesn't have to be as fully his 40-year-old self there. But
I like
that. Okay,
the age thing might be the only issue. That's
but he plays younger though.
He does. I like it. What Scheim would have to say about that because he's probably the biggest Nightwing fan in the whole DSG. Okay. I think it would play really well. I like Nightwing a lot as well. But I think he could pull that off, especially the emotional side of it.
We would need. I want to find like a young buck, like a young hot starlet to kind of come in here. Yeah, so a nice carved up ham to come in and play Dick Grayson.
Yeah. Okay.
We got to find some young Zac Efron type there.
He can't be Goose, right?
No. Well, I think just like Marvel, you get your own DC supplement plan going on there. Maybe it's their own kind of secret HGH cocktail mix.
Okay. All right. But you're saying, so do you want their suits goosed or no? I'm just confused.
Oh, no. I want their bodies goosed with as much like hormone as possible. Not goose suits.
Got it. Okay. Duly noted. All right. Okay.
Eternals is coming to Disney Plus on Thursday, Nick. Anything?
This is why I dropped this down because like when I look at all in terms of the grading when we did our MCU year in review, this is not something I have any desire to go back and watch. Everything else I could see myself rewatching in some capacity, maybe just some scenes, maybe trying to get some clarity on certain stuff that's just a little foggy with my memory, but and maybe just full-length things I want to watch because I enjoyed them. But this is the one thing where it's like, no, I think I got everything I need to know. Maybe if we see Eternal characters again down the line, which we should, I'll rewatch some stuff, but I'm okay. So that's why I had to bump it down so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely rewatch it. But again, I don't think it's going to do much for me. I think it's just going to become like a hate watch sort of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I get hate listening. I do. I have to imagine that there's a certain contingency of change by my listeners.
It's really well shot. There's some things I do like about it, but overall, I'm just going back and like, all right, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to move anything, or it's going to be better than what I thought upon first watch.
Visually, it's definitely impressive. I mean, the action. I mean, we've said it before, though. Marvel doesn't really screw up when it comes to action, but they did a really good job, and that was part of what I think blew me away when we first watched it, and kind of gave that inflated grade. I think I dropped 6 points off of my grade.
It was big. It was a big drop.
Yeah, big one for me. to the point where I got lower than you, which is the only Marvel property I think I graded low. No, Loki I also graded lower than
Loki
you
as
did.
well. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Loki and in Internals, same thing in my mind. But
Wow. That's shots. Not gonna do
anyways,
that.
but yeah, no desire to rewatch this at all. None whatsoever. But, all right.
Why don't you take us over to your comic book minute real quick?
All right. So this week, speaking of Marvel, we got Daredevil Woman Without Fear issue 1. This is Elektra in the Daredevil suit. She's been wearing this for a little while. It's all part of the Devil's Reign story. So if you read Devil's Reign 2, it kind of continues from that, but still you can I'd say you kind of have to be reading the whole event to fully appreciate what's going on here with her. But I love Elektra. I love seeing Chip Zdarsky write more of her. I hope they continue to do that beyond this event. They've done a great job with her. But the big book for me that I'm most excited about this week is the Scorched issue 1 from Image Comics. This is the final book from the new Spawn's universe. So we've been getting Spawn for forever, and now we're getting Gunslinger Spawn, King Spawn, and the same guy who's writing King Spawn is writing The Scorched, which is Sean Lewis. That book is out this week, and we talked to Sean Lewis over on TLDR. God, that was back in November, because this book was supposed to come out originally in December. But that audio is going to be available for you guys Wednesday at midnight.
I love it. You don't say. Good stuff.
Yes. So very excited about that. And we also talked about his book Thumbs. That's becoming a show that McFarlane Productions, I think, is Todd McFarlane's video production company, like TV and movies. They're taking the reins on that as well. So a lot of big things going on for Sean, and a little update on King Spawn as well. So
I like the intriguing title of Thumbs. You got me interested with the Thumbs title.
I think they're turning it into a show, which I'm kind of surprised by, because it's 6 issues now. Each issue is like double size, but it's just a 6-issue thing. I can see them expanding beyond the world, so they'll probably make changes, like they do with anything. But it's definitely a commentary on technology and how we're all moving in a certain direction and everything like that. So
Thumbs is a big middle finger to technology. I like it. I like it. That's the big takeaway.
Look at that!
Here.
Oh wow! All right, we got to keep our eyes peeled. If they try and use that in any capacity.
That's a good tagline. Yeah, credit, change my mind, get us back here. I like it. Yeah, it's good stuff. Comic book minute, open and closed. And
that's it. That's
one
it.
and done.
To keep it to a minute. I don't know if we did it, but we tried.
I think you usually do. We'll go with European time on this one here.
Okay.
For the main topic here, though, we won't be going on European time. We are building a cinema draft of 2015 movies, and here to help us is one half of the People for Communism podcast, or should I say, the Pop Culture Piledriver podcast. Excuse me, Mr. Jason D. Rossi. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. I'm so glad to be here. I'm glad to just come stumbling in here to pick up the pieces of this mess of a show thus far.
Wow. Are you you're still hung up on what Wes said about Bob Saget, aren't you?
Oh, it hurts. It stings. I thought he was introducing me for a second for some weird reason.
Speaking of death, Jason Rossi. Yeah. No, that's great. And again, I apologize for throwing a shot at you with the communism note. After asking you to come on, and you're doing us a favor. So
please.
That's not very nice of us to do that here. But
wait, actually, on a side note, Rossi, I saw you doing a wrestling spot the other day over on Twitter on your account. Are you doing more like wrestling stuff solo now?
Yes, the short of it is yes. A lot more. We're trying to just do more content. I consider myself, just like the both of you probably consider yourselves, have to like creativity within you that you just sometimes probably like, why am I not just doing more? Why am I talking about it? And I hate talking, which I do a lot of, and I'll do a lot of on this, but I mean, talking about things I want to do instead of just shutting up and doing it. It's not some New Year's resolution BS. It just so happens to be like, I got time. Let's do it. So yeah, I'm a big wrestling fan. I consume so much wrestling throughout the week. So yeah, there'll definitely be a lot more probably specifically on the socials, then eventually pouring its way back into the Pop Culture Piledriver.
Nice.
I think it was Aristotle who said, don't just talk about it, be about it.
Yes. And I wear his shirt all the time.
I'm not a wrestling guy, but we need to hit that in the DSG 100%. You're the guy that's got to do it.
Yeah, if I could, if you don't mind, I think like there's room for all these things. I've noticed, I've watched over the year, like with Goo and with Wes and like taking on the MCU shows. I think do more shows, by the way. I don't think it should just stop there. But I think I see that. I see what TLDR did. I'm like, there's room for all this stuff because that's kind of what these outlets are for. And being like a weird family pod, like all together. We're like some weird distant cousins, and some of us, you don't want to see each other, and sometimes you do, but like there's so many different outlets, and I think more stuff for these like our listeners or potential listeners or people that are just looking for forms of entertainment and like-minded people, which I think we all are. I think that's better. I think more people should be doing more, like the streamers, all that stuff. I think it's great.
Now, is this the platform where you're going to announce your candidacy for 2022?
2022 leader of the DSG. Yeah, I got you.
Big year of the midterms here, because that was an inspirational speech here. I love that.
Yes. It moved.
Red or blue, though? Where do you stand on abortion? That's what I really want to know.
I'm pro whatever anybody wants.
Yes. Hey, wow. Man of the people. I love it. Watch out.
He is a communist.
Here comes Jason Rossi here.
Pro-communism, whatever you say.
Yeah. I love it. Let's get down to brass tacks here, though. Huh? How about that, John?
All right.
2015 is the year, and the name of the game is to build the cinema draft here. Now, Rossi, your co-host and cohort in crime, Billy D, the D stands for delinquent, but he's a big winner of this build the cinema draft here. So he's maybe the D stands for draft, because he's won this previously here. So you got a lot on your shoulders to carry the weight of the podcast there. But I
don't win drafts. I lose drafts, and I barely stick to the rules. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Setting a low bar. I like it here. So we have to fill out the theater made up of different 2015 movies, but there is a catch here. So we have to fill out certain positions, much like your fantasy baseball team, your first baseman, your second baseman, your shortstops, what have yous. So you have your blockbuster, $100 million domestic box office. Got that? Then you have one action adventure, one comedy, one drama, one animated, or one horror. You can pick or choose there. And then one wild card.
But Rossi, there is like a little stipulation here to help someone like you. I know I utilize this all the time.
Yeah.
If there are certain movies aren't beholden to one category or the category that you originally draft them in. So let's say Forrest Gump's not in this year, but let's say you draft Forrest Gump as a blockbuster, but then you also see that, hey, I could get Pulp Fiction as well. You can slide Forrest Gump into your drama slot, and then you can put Pulp Fiction into your blockbuster slot. You can do it retroactively after you've drafted them, and you have unlimited moves. So there are like you could have 3 blockbusters on your roster. Well, actually, you could have. I guess if we were idiots like Wes and I, everyone could be a blockbuster. You could slide them all into their respective slots, and then you have wild card too.
Okay. Intriguing.
Yes.
It's kind of a backdoor. It seems like somebody like didn't like the way one of them went, and then we changed the rules. I like it.
No, this has been the rules from the start here. Just because like any fantasy team, you might draft your Cordarrelle Pattersons and be like, hey, maybe this week I have running back eligibility with him. I want to slide him in right there. And maybe next week I want to slide him into the wide receiver slot. You have that option there, Who's the guy that we always bring up?
We just also communicate. Rossi, I know it seems weird, but like that way we don't run into things like you have maybe on your show with certain things.
Oh boy,
but that's what makes us fun, and that's why people really enjoy hate listening to one show. It is ours.
I got to stop taking shots. Like I'm treating you like you're Billy right now. And
do me a favor. Don't be nice to me. Be yourselves. Let's keep going. No time for handshakes and hand jobs. Let's go.
Well, the latter, but
okay.
All right.
We'll talk to that a little bit later. Maybe we'll hand out a hand job for the winner. But for the 88th Oscars, Best Picture winners and nominees here, Spotlight. Speaking of hand jobs, the big winner there. Of course, The Big Short. You have Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn. Shout out my homies out in Brooklyn. Mad Max, Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and Room. So a lot of heavy movies there in the Oscars there. A lot of nominees.
Now for the 73rd Golden Globes, Best Motion Picture winners and nominees for drama, the winner was Revenant. Then for other nominees, we had Carol, Mad Max, Fury Road, Room, and Spotlight. And then for comedy musical, we had The Martian as the winner. What? Well, and then
he signs the shit out of that movie,
Big Short, Joy, Spy, and Trainwreck were the other nominees. I'm kind of confused by that, but okay.
They did everything they could. Too. They did everything they could to get The Martian as much press as they could. Mm-hmm. Whether you liked or didn't like the movie, it just didn't hit like I think they originally had thought. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. Matt Damon makes you laugh. He makes potatoes. It's like, okay, we get it. Like,
it was fine.
Jesus. Yeah, exactly. It's the definition of fine.
Yeah.
He's got a real plucky attitude for being the only guy stuck on a planet for a year, you know?
Yeah.
For the 2016 MTV Movie Awards, of course, the most important award show of the year. This takes place of June 2016, so sometimes it's a mishmash of movies between the previous year and the current year. But the winner was Star Wars: The Force Awakens. How about that? With some nominees being Avengers: Age of Ultron, Creed, Deadpool, Jurassic World, and Straight Outta Compton. This feels like my speed, maybe everyone else's speed of movies that we actually see and watch.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Popular.
Deadpool was in this one?
Well, because that was Valentine's Day of 2016. I remember it well because it was a big hot date for the in the midst.
It sure was. It sure was.
Those awards are what in like June. So I think that and Straight Outta Compton were two that came out in 2016.
I think Straight Outta Compton was this year. Straight Outta Compton was on my list.
I have a Straight Outta Compton as 2015 as well.
But that is
one of my big boards, so I guess
that's something that's going to be discussed, and debated throughout the course of this draft. And I did last minute, per usual, come up with the draft order just now. Picking number 1 overall, Wesley Sykes.
Oh my God, this feels so good. Oh yeah.
Number 2, myself. So Rossi, you have the turnaround pick. You are 3rd overall.
Got the wheel.
Very nervous.
Got the wheel here.
Okay.
All right, so this is tough. The first pick here, I feel like there's a lot of weight to this.
Sure.
It really sets the tone for everything here.
It can. Yeah, it can.
Just take the horrible movie. Just take it.
My thought was to do that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this seriously here.
Oh yeah, blood in the water. That's what it is.
No. I'm never prepared for the first overall pick. So I'm trying to scramble and buy myself some time here.
Okay.
Give me Sweet Dino Action. First overall pick, Jurassic World. I'll peg it in as my blockbuster at the moment here. But you get Chris Pratt. Delightful, sexy Chris Pratt. He had the crazy meme that was going around at the moment with the different raptors with his hands up. Everyone was doing that for a while with like chickens and dogs and things. So it has that viral moment. Made a crap ton of money.
Yep, I enjoyed this movie.
It's a good movie.
We got another one coming. Is it this year? Right, another Jurassic Park.
Dominion.
Yes. Dominion. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And this is solid. Don't get me wrong. I'm surprised you got to start preparing for the first overall pick. I am surprised that you went with this one. There are definitely some better options. I feel like this is a second round one, maybe even with 3 people. You could have got it in the 3rd round on the turnaround pick.
Well, I'm sticking to me.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued where you think those first 3 are, because in my head, at least it's part of the 3. But obviously, you'll go next. But
I think okay, all right. Well, for me, my number 1, and it would have been number 1 if Wes, if I was the number 1 overall pick. I was terrified. I thought Wes was going to take this. I am going to go with Ant-Man, which is yes,
no,
yes,
really
one of the more versatile.
That was my
picks here. Wes, you can slot it into my comedy. Thank you very much. It is one of the more versatile ones. Yes, I'm going to put it in comedy, Rossi, because this is a shit year for comedy, but plenty of laughs with this one.
I disagree with this.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm sure we'll get into that as we go along here. But I love this. We went and did a rewatch on it a while back. I gave it a 90. I probably originally would have had it as like a 84-ish or something, like maybe 85. But I just as an adult now, I have a much greater appreciation. I was 1 year out of college at the time, so what the hell did I know?
You relate to Paul Rudd a little more.
Yeah,
time has served this movie well.
Oh yeah,
time has helped with this movie, especially what the MCU released in that year as well. But I'm shocked. I literally thought that was going to be my pick, and I thought I'd get crushed for it. So
I would have seen that as a 2nd round pick, but hey, I'm okay with that. I'm
wow.
With that.
I can't take the movie that is obvious because I didn't see it and I'm not a fan. So I'm going to be honest. I get emotional with these drafts because I think that's the point of them. But Ant-Man was my number 1 with a bullet. It's my favorite movie of the year. I'm like, no way these clowns are going to take that early.
Wait a minute. You're talking. So we talk about the MCU all the time. There's
another movie that made more money. I don't know how these things work. I'm thinking in my head.
I'm picking
I'll say the movie because I ain't drafting that piece of crap. It's the worst movie, I still believe, out of all of the MCU. I will put it in there. Give me Thor: Dark World. Give me what do you want to Go Iron Man 3. Give me Hulk. I don't care. Age of Ultron's a pile of crap. I'm sorry. It is the most disappointing movie in the franchise. It's a horrible follow-up to one of the biggest movies of all time. And that's just my opinion on it. So anyways.
It's a tough one. It's tough. Yeah.
It's better than I had remembered it. Like after rewatching it for the show, we had you on for The Dark World. That's what it was. Yes. Yeah. Which was also another one that's better after.
Let's be honest. I think there's also rose-tinted glasses with the way the MCU has done so many things and how things have weaved in and out through the end of Endgame, at least. But anywho, I guess I have to take a pick here. Talk about filibustering. I literally had Ant-Man and Jurassic World, even though I wasn't really a big fan of Jurassic World because I didn't think there was likable characters.
You're one of those drafters. Oh, that's
Chris Pratt. What's not to love about Chris Pratt?
The owner of the park was the most likable guy.
He
was the only one that
helicopter guy.
Yeah, he was like running stuff. He was actually making sense, and then it was like, yeah, we're gonna kill him, and then kill the likability of this.
You don't like Bryce Dallas Howard?
No, she was awful. Like she was not likable at all.
I haven't seen this in so long.
Yeah, she's got kind of like an Ice Queen type of vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Right.
I guess I know my type then.
yeah. Well, I don't want to speak for what's currently going on in your life. All right. I'm gonna take this movie only because there's no reason for it to be a first round pick, but I'm going to be honest. I have no idea anymore. You blew up my board. I don't know where you're going to go. So I'm going to go with the highest rated movie in the history of Rotten Tomatoes, whatever you want to go with. I'm going to slide it into I guess you could go with comedy for now that I know I can move it. Originally a wild card. I'm going with Paddington.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
It's the highest rated movie in the history of films.
This is such bullshit.
I've never seen it, so I can't really make I know there's some sort of push for it. No, people have seen it.
No, they're definitely
Paddington and Paddington 2. There's like a push. There's like this weird niche corner of the internet where people really do enjoy it.
The superior film 1 and 2 is Peter Rabbit, but hey, what the hell do I know? But I'm going to take Paddington just for I think the internet credibility.
You know what? I really hope that the Paddington people actually listen and don't just go based off the rosters that we post, because if they hear it, they're going to be like, well, wait, Rossi's just trying to steal our votes. That's what he's doing to you folks right now. He has no respect for you.
This is a good idea. So with my second round pick, I'll steal more votes. Never saw this movie. Bet you it blows, but I'll take Star Wars.
Oh my God.
My whole strategy has been changed. It was Ant-Man. I won't tell you my second, in Jurassic World, but I won't tell you my second pick. But I'm just going to, I'll just go for popular vote here.
Okay.
I'm literally just going to try to take pictures with the hot girls in high school so I get in the yearbook.
Oh, I hate you so much right now. This is worse than losing to Billy back-to-back times we've had him on.
This is tough. He's got a strategy here, Nick. Now you got to do the right thing and make the right pick here. This is coming back to you.
Okay, real quick, though, before I've been so caught up in Rossi's picks, I haven't thought about mine. I have options, but Rossi, are you not a Star Wars fan, like, at all, or are you just...
No, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but it's not that I have any disrespect towards Star Wars. I'm not like, I don't get, like, it never got me that next level. When they were re-released in the late 90s, when I was, I think your guys' age now, I went to go see them, and I had a blast, but I never got to that, like, I need to keep seeing these. I need to know the lineage. I don't know how to explain it any further than it just never gripped me to that point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a follow-up question.
I'm there with you, though.
Are you wearing a gold chain or something?
Oh, I know. My brother got me a Witcher coin for. Oh,
that's what you posted.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I shared that in the group chat. Yes, he got it me for.
You should get it up higher so it's in shot. You should tie that.
I'll work on it. It definitely swings around a little bit too much. Yeah, got to work. Like Cavill's got it where obviously Cavill's got like this gigantic chest, and I got this chicken thing, but like he's got it like where it rests right here, and it looks badass. But I love this thing. It's honestly what I have never geeked out so hard like over a Christmas gift. I lost my shit.
It's not hard to get people Christmas gifts sometimes. Just get them something goofy. Or
there we go. Random. More of the story.
So, Wes, you said make the right pick here, and I'm not entirely sure what you're thinking. So, hopefully, you'll clear that up after I don't pick.
I don't know what it is.
Okay. Part of me thinks you're telling me to take Get Hard, but I hated that movie. I know it's.
I like that. I like that one.
I know
something's telling me make the right pick. Well, duh, it's got to be Get Hard.
There are a couple options here, and I'm really pissed that Rossi took Star Wars because that was what I was hoping was going to swing.
Is there trades? Is there trades in this draft?
No,
post draft. Yeah.
We've never done it.
24 hours post draft.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to go with here, All right, I think I got to make the smart move on the block, go for my blockbuster pick here, but this could slide into action adventure later on if I so choose. This was part 2 of the final Hunger Games book. This is Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. Of course, one of the huge like movie franchises of that decade. Kind of for me, it came out of nowhere. I remember hearing about the book. Never read those books. I should go back and read them. But obviously, the movies were must-see stuff. Every single one of them. They, so much so that we got Divergent later on, written by a Northwestern alum, but still not as good. But yeah, we absolutely loved these movies.
And wouldn't you say the Maze Runner series also is like an
offshoot?
I never watched it, so I don't want to.
I liked Maze Runners. That was
Nick, I wouldn't tell on yourself with the Divergent stuff with the Northwestern connection there, because that like just seems just like it's a complete ripoff.
It was.
I think plagiarism is the word.
Maybe.
And the Medill School wouldn't put up with that.
No, it absolutely wouldn't. She was a grad student, I think. I did not know her personally. She was there, though. I think when I was there, wrote her thesis. I'm not certain how. I don't know the math.
Wow, okay,
but
all right.
Either way, yeah. Well, look, hey, we got some winners, we got some losers. I mean, there's a Divergent girl and me, and then there's Catherine Hahn and David Schwimmer. So I mean, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I don't know.
Okay, so I got the comeback around here. I'm on the comeback tour.
The comeback, the
come up.
Yeah, that's it.
You and Dave.
If you need a filibuster, I'm going to tell you quick. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. That's who you said, right?
Yeah.
So, fun fact: she was originally plotted to play Howard Stern's wife in Private Parts.
Really?
Yeah. And eventually, that role, I forget the actress offhand now who ended up playing her, but they thought she was too small. So Howard Stern is like. He's like West size. He's like 6'15", and Julia Louis-Dreyfus is like
mean?
Wait,
very
not
tall.
our West.
You're tall. Yeah, our West. Look at him. He's tall. Taller than this weird camera angle lets people tell. But yeah, she's only like 5'6", and I'm sorry, like 5'5". So
Mary
they thought it was too weird. Mary McCormick, yes, she went on to play Howard Stern's wife. So yeah, just a little. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I appreciate that little again filibuster. The filibuster king, Jason D. Rossi here. I'm going to go with action adventure. Very fun action adventure, lighthearted movie. Kingsman: The Secret Service. So give me that there.
Oh, that came out this
also a
year?
sequel.
Oh no, are you shitting me? I didn't
know.
Wait,
is that the sequel? Or is that the original?
No, isn't there a new Kingsman coming out?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, there's the Kingsman.
Wait a minute. Yes. Flag. Oh, no, it came out 2015. Son of a gun.
Right, so this is the original, right? This is the first one.
IMDb.
First one.
IMDb who I rely on. Yeah, that's a good pick. I would have taken that one.
And then we're going to take what I think is the top comedy of the year.
Oh, here we go.
Pitch Perfect 2.
Okay. Good pick.
Yeah, that's it there. So again,
great
big
fan
scene. Of Pitch Perfect. And the second one gets that much better when you get the Germans involved, the world tour. You get a little David Cross action in there, a little bit more bumper.
When in doubt, sprinkle in a little German.
Well, see, I knew you would love that. But there is that German guy who is like throws the javelin, the Suicide Squad. He's like really funny. He's hysterical.
I'm telling you, just toss him in.
Was that a communist joke, Wes?
What?
Were you talking about Marx? Was that you trying to make a communist joke? Is Rossi
about the javelin?
All right, this communist thing's gone a little far. One joke, two jokes, haha.
We say it every episode. Right. It's part of our shtick. I know you don't listen to After the Discharge Depot, but either way, anyways.
Pitch Perfect 2, Kingsman: The Secret Service.
So I know I love the first Pitch Perfect. I just haven't seen the second one in so long, and
it's better. It's better than the original.
Is it? Yeah, I agree that it's better because all the characters are developed. I think the one thing Pitch Perfect, the first one, a lot of movies when they know, like, I guess this one didn't know it would get as popular, but like it takes a long time to get to know the characters. Second one, we know all of them. We get all of them, and then and you just fire away. It's real, and I just think Elizabeth Banks is outstanding in this movie. No one talks about her performance.
Oh yeah, and the other guy too, who's come on the kick drum.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
that guy. He's like that. He's in all those types of movies. There, he's in that. He's great. That pairing together is awesome. But also, this is where maybe the MCU talk kind of comes into play here. Haley Steinfeld, is in here too. One of her big breakout roles. This and True Grit, I believe. I don't know when that lines up.
Oh, when did True Grit come out?
timeline wise,
I
but
was
this
blown
was
away
this
by
was a
that.
big breakout when I first recognized her.
So I know Brolin had been in stuff before True Grit, but like that was the first one I remember him as an adult actor, because wasn't he in the
I was going to
Goonies?
say he was the Goonies, yeah.
Yes, but
he's in a lot of movies before that, yeah.
right. But that's like the first adult one that I remember from him. I don't know why, it's just a random one. And then what Bridges was in that as well. But when I saw Haley Steinfeld, I was like, wait a second, what?
Mhm.
That one blew me away.
I think that's on Netflix too now.
Is it? Oh, I gotta go back and rewatch it. I did enjoy that movie. Been a long time since I've seen it though. Now I still have action adventure open, and I also have a few others. I'm gonna actually go over to drama right now. I got to look at some of these box offices for some of the picks that I have. I know 50 Shades of Grey is an option, and it is a blockbuster.
It shouldn't be an option, Nick.
But I am not gonna go with that one. But
I got something here. Like I feel like if I get this, I'm going to be in a really good position. If you take it, I might not be.
I know what he's going to take.
Well, there are two things that I am down to right now on drama. It's Black Mass or Straight Outta Compton. And I think the move is going to have to be Straight Outta Compton for me for this one.
Wow, that is a huge shock. That is an upset of all upsets. I know you've mentioned Black Mass on this program more than probably anyone else has mentioned it anywhere else. This is a big upset.
Yeah, well, we'll see where Rossi goes. He may take it or not. And actually, Wes, I can slide. Go ahead.
Just letting you know, you can have that pick. I don't care. Black Mass, never saw it. Don't think it's going to get credibility on the vote.
No, Straight Outta Compton though. He's not going there.
Yeah, I might take it. I might still take it. I mean, there's some good drama options this year.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, but you took Straight Outta Compton. You will be able to take Black Mass if you want, because I will not take it with my next two picks.
What's wrong with the credibility of that one?
Because I'm starting to get the vibe here. I'm going for the people here. We are the wives, if you will, as we are the Wives podcast.
Oh, that's true. That's right.
I am literally. So I have Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I have Paddington.
Definitely.
Fanny wetter there.
Yep, hold on. But I'm just going to go straight for people. I'll categorize this after, I guess. But right now, I guess my blockbuster would be Star Wars. Right now, Paddington is in the comedy. I might give it a little shift down after. But I'm going to take a movie that I think people will see on a vote and be like, oh, snap. That was popular. People like that. And I'm going to go with Creed.
Oh, okay.
And
your drama?
Yeah. I'm gonna I had that in my, I don't know, I guess drama or action adventure. I don't really know what that.
Drama.
That's a weird. Okay.
You can either or.
You can flex it a little bit if you want.
You can tell me after once I win this thing in my fourth pick.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go horror here because that's more my genre. I'm gonna just let you guys know some picks, so maybe you want them after because I'm really good at this part. There was a movie called The Invitation that I know Rich Keefe of Dork absolutely hated, but I think it's a really good movie, strong movie you should watch in general. Not super horror, more suspenseful and what's going on, one of those type of movies.
Okay.
It's a nice watch on the Netflix. There's Krampus came out this year as well. Very fun movie.
Yeah.
Gives you the holiday tie-in so you can watch it like basically like A Nightmare Before Christmas from October 1st all the way through the new year. But the pick I'm going to take, I think one of the more creative horror movies that came out of the decade. Now, I think this last decade was pretty strong for horror movies for creativity purposes, aside from just like reboots or sequels that we really didn't need, like the Insidious series. So I will take It Follows. And if either of you seen the film?
No. Yes,
good. Is that like Mac's movie She Smells? Is that like
it's basically
the follow-up to that?
Why you should practice safe sex. That's what this movie is. It's like an undertone. It's just the film, the cinematography of this movie is incredible. It looks scary. The drone colors. It's really good. Basically, to summarize it, it's an STD. It follows as an STD, but it's an STD that follows you with a ghost that is going to come and kill you unless you have sex with somebody else to pass it off. But if you pass it off, and then, so let's just say I have sex with, I don't know, Fryer. And then this ghost would come after Fryer. It kills Fryer. Then it's coming after me. So then I have to have sex with somebody else. And it needs to keep going around like that. It's very bizarre.
It's like The Ring. You have 7 days before something comes and kills you. And then you have to go and pass it on.
To a degree. Yeah. And you can run away from it, but it will eventually follow.
Wow.
I like this.
I don't know. Oh, I missed the part where I actually agreed to that sex. So like,
It's not consensual.
There was no.
I hope
agreement.
the ghost considers that in the course of all this, that it
Does
was
not
consensual.
actually big part of the film. It does not. It does not.
Wow, that's
Emotion.
fucked up.
Yeah, the movie is. The movie is fucked up.
That's
So it
pretty
follows.
fucked up.
We'll be right back.
Wow. All right, didn't see that coming.
Well,
Okay,
you know the big judgment maker. They're not making many, not judging very much. That's a horrible joke. Let's move on here.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go to horror animated late in West. You know, because Rossi didn't take Black Mass, I am going to swing back around, and I will be able to take that because Straight Outta Compton can slide into Blockbuster, moving Mockingjay Part 2 down into action adventure. So I'm going to move Black Mass over to my drama section, Straight Outta Compton, bump that up to the top. For me, this like I know that people like from Boston feel a certain way about The Departed because like they did before Black Mass. But for me, like I didn't necessarily hate it like everybody else did. It was like whatever, you know. I came out a little bit younger than some of the people that hate it. But when I saw Black Mass and saw Johnny Depp's performance, I was like, oh well, all right, never mind. Like that. This is a significantly insufficient movie. No, not
Insignificant.
Horrible. What's the opposite of superior? I couldn't think. Like that's
inferior.
Inferior. Thank you, Wes. It's an inferior movie, inferior portrayal of Whitey Bulger. And honestly, like learning more about Southeast history from like just people that grew up there too, learning about those other characters that were involved in all of it. To me, like this is definitely a movie that if you're at all interested in Boston's history, this is something that you should watch, just at least to get an idea of what went on.
Well, my favorite scene of Black Mass there was when when he comes across his like he stops around the corner of L Street and sees an old lady and he's like, "Hey, Mrs. So and so here, let me help you bring your groceries in." And she's like, "Hey, are you out of prison again?" He's like, "Yeah, I am, but let me help. Here's some money for your kids." And then like it's like always these gangsters who are like, throwing out turkeys out the back of bread trucks and that sort of thing. Like I always find that so funny. It's like the Robin Hood aspect of these gangsters.
Well, so normally
like they'll cut your heads off, but they'll give your mother a gallon of milk along 100%.
The way. That's like I find that like that narrative so like sometimes like okay, it's overdone and whatever. But from what I like, again, I know some people that like grew up the same age as Whitey. That like that's what it was like. Like he did the terrible things, but like the people around him that were like his family or whatever, he was nice to.
Yeah, that's why I just
Billy Connolly is the guy that they actually hate.
Yeah, they just leave. I leave money in Timmy's mailbox down the street because I offed his father, but his father was a good guy. He just had to go, so now I leave $100 in the mailbox for him. Just so we can go get some bread and some snacks.
I'm just telling you what I want to know.
I just want to know all these friends that Fryer has that are like 80 years old.
I mean, they were my whole family. I didn't want to go and brag about it, but it's like,
I got all these
like
buddies
95 years old.
No, it's my host family from the Cape. Like that.
I know. We're just having some fun here.
No. Ross is a dick. It's what it comes down to.
I just didn't know. You're like saying, hey, I knew a lot of friends that hung out with.
That's not what I said.
I believe you did. We'll rewind it after.
We'll have to rewind it afterwards.
During my time in the old folks' home.
Yeah.
I was in the can with them.
In the clink.
All right.
It's on Rossi, I think, right? This is where we're at now.
No.
It's your turn.
Oh, it's back to me here. Okay,
Yep.
Now I got one pick. Is that I'm completely lost.
No, you still
in the
get
snake.
two. You still get two.
I get two, but this came back fast. I
You
wasn't
have
ready
two
for
more
this
picks.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It came back fast. I'm pretty sure
Well, because I gave Fryer a pick and he still talked about it for a while. You had time.
All right, so I need a drama, I need a horror, and an animated here. Okay, I need a drama and a horror animated. So there's nothing I like. I don't like horror movies. There's nothing really good about any. I didn't see any of these animated movies, but I'm going to pander to the crowd here a little bit. Give me Minions. The kids love Minions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Minions. Yeah,
I think it was fine. I definitely saw that. I think it was fine when I watched it.
They're cute.
I'm not letting
They're cute.
I'm not introducing the Minions to my household because they don't speak words. Something really weird about that. One day, if you ever want to be a parent, you got to think about that stuff. They just kind of mumble.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah. I only want them speaking English in my household. That's a good.
Oh no,
point.
I don't care. Spanish, German.
Well, oh wow,
They didn't
Sounds
speak
alright.
English German in this film because what is
a lot of
Groot?
German.
Or Groot, whatever his name is, Groot.
Drama
Easy.
here. This is tough because I enjoyed Burnt as someone who used to work in a kitchen. A little Bradley Cooper action. I thought that was nice. That's good stuff there. But
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Sicario. You mentioned
Ooh.
what's his name there? Josh Brolin. You
Yep.
got Javier Bardem. I don't know.
He's
You
awesome.
got some other guys in there too. Great movie.
They filled
I
out the
believe
cast.
it's Taylor Sheridan produced or written it. Good stuff there.
So
Again, opening scene where they pull the bodies out of the walls. Very, very freaky stuff.
I never saw this movie, and like
movie.
saw it on the list. And was like, "Fuck, this would be a." I think this would be a really good pick. But I don't like picking movies that I haven't seen generally. So
Yeah, sometimes you got to pander. I agree with you. But when it came to Minions, I had slim pickings there between horror and animated for me.
yeah, no, you definitely did. And actually, speaking of horror animated, I wanted to go with horror. My pick for that section is going to be Inside Out. It's an animated movie. Now,
Horror movie. It was scary.
No, that would be actually a pretty good horror title too. But Rossi,
Was that the Feelings movie? Was that what that was?
It is the Feelings
Yes.
movie. Yes. And I actually didn't see that till the past year, and that is something that would probably be good for kids to watch. And also,
Oh yeah, a little bit older than where my son's at, but yeah, this seems like one of the ideal, like my nieces and nephews that are between the age of 5 and 12, like that's right up their alley because you get to really express yourself and understand feelings. And let's be honest, I don't care how old you are, you should watch this movie because it really gets you to kind of thinking like why we switch so quickly. It's not us; it's these little like things inside of our brain that trigger it.
It is a bit of a thinker, but also at the same time, it's just like it's great for kids still, like because they're having a fun, goofy time. But something that parents could like. I mean, look, I am a 12-year-old, but like I could still enjoy and watch this. And actually, I had it on the other day.
Fun fact about this too: very popular pops back in the day. I actually always kind of have one in my hand. This is Herschel from The Walking Dead.
Oh, nice!
But they were very popular, and this movie came out was like the beginning of like the next like the craze of them catering to children. Because if you remember, pops I believe were kind of like comic book stuff and sports, and then it like became everything. They got the Nickelodeon, and then they got Disney at this time.
It is everything. Wow. I didn't know it was at that time.
Yeah,
but it's big get.
I did want to ask you one quick question, Rossi, on the horror from that year. So I believe, what is it? Insidious 3 came out that year.
Sure did.
I saw the first one, and I saw the second one, and I like those two. Never saw the third. How is that one?
No need. You are fine where you're at. They just made it because they're like, sure, like we're making money. That's the problem with horror movies more than any genre. Makes a little bit of money. Let's just keep going with this. It's like, stop. Just stop. Everybody, you want to make a sequel? Cool. Make a third one. We're gone too far. So
I agree. Rush Hour 3, great example. Rush Hour 2,
really?
Classic. Rush Hour 3, don't go to Paris.
So let me 2 questions on this if I can. If there's movies that do 3 to 4 films, would you guys do a like sequel versus original? Is that out of the category for you?
Now, give me a for instance here.
So would you like a Rush Hour? Like there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Would someone who takes the sequel aspect take both of them?
No. It would just be the individual movies. You could choose 1, 2, or 3. We would kind of choose between that.
Largely, I mean, I don't know if we've done a 1 versus 3, but I think in an ideal situation, it would be 1 versus any one of the sequels.
Got it. Okay. I just want to let you know, again, I say this every time I talk about your podcast. Those are my favorite ones. I love those. It's literally must listen. And still to this day, your greatest podcast is Home Alone versus Home Alone 2.
Wow, I love that. That's a lot of flowers coming from Rossi.
Oh, it's legit. It's legit. It's some stuff I think people do well. I like creative ideas. I love that. Like it's so good. I wish I did it. Like that's how I usually compliment people.
Like positivity 2022. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. I believe it is now Rossi's pick.
Oh crap. Okay,
yeah, so Inside Out.
You kind of forced me to put Creed into drama where everybody else is just kind of throwing things around.
No, you can put it anywhere you want.
Let me check.
Thank you, Wes. That's why I like you. I knew that about you.
You wanted an action adventure? Put it in an action adventure.
No, that's fine. I don't really.
You want it in Blockbuster? Throw it in Blockbuster.
So I have 2 movies. I think I have 2 left. I think this is the end for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yes, it is. You got your last 2 picks.
I think I have the. I can blow it right now.
It's on action. It can go into action if you want it, Creed, and it can go into drama. I'm not seeing the box office at the moment, but I will.
I don't worry. I'm leaving Star Wars up there. It's fine. So I'm having a tough. There's one movie I loved from this year, and it was when. Do you guys remember when 4D was a thing in movie theaters?
Oh,
when they were like spray water on you or something?
I don't remember water, but I remember wind and the seats would shake.
Okay. I remember that being a thing. I never experienced it, but I remember that.
So 2015, it was pretty hot in the showcase cinemas of the world. And the only movie I went to, day of release, all the nostalgia was hit. And I have to take this movie just because I love it. I think the name value might help me, but it could also blow the draft. It was Goosebumps.
Oh,
when Goosebumps came out. Yeah, I didn't see that coming, did you?
I had that on my short list though, because in case Ant-Man was was taken really before I could.
People always say Ant-Man or Goosebumps.
Yeah, that's it.
Motherfucker.
Flip a coin, baby. Round 1, it would have been Goosebumps, but I'll stake it here in the 5th. But this movie, first of all, Jack Black is amazing. I don't care what role he's in. He's outstanding. He went from a guy who was loved to kind of was hitting that weird like Sandler to like Dane Cookish, like Jack Black. And then he like, I don't know what movie it was, but he is like just lovable. Maybe just because he's a fat guy who always has his shirt off. I don't know. But this movie, he plays R.L. Stein. Like, you want
R.L. Stein.
Like, you want a good actor to play R.L. Stein. Well, you couldn't pull a Moneyball and get Leo, but Brad Pitt. But you got yourself, you got an R.L. Stein played by Jack Black, which is fun. You have, I don't even remember this kid's name, but he's been in every freaking movie since. The kid who's going to be in Scream. He was in, like, I don't even know his name, and I'm not.
I don't know.
He was in a
horror guy.
12 or 8 Reasons Why, 13 Reasons Why. Whoever that kid is. Did you watch that? No,
Dylan Minnette.
Dylan Minnette, thank you. He was in Lost. He was in a bunch. He's literally been in every movie since Goosebumps. But you get him.
I haven't seen any of those properties you just mentioned.
Well, you're not a fan of his, and it's personal.
You've seen this guy before, Wes.
You would know his face.
Have I?
Yeah, you have. I don't know when Jack Black, because I was thinking it was Jumanji for Jack Black, but that came out in 2017. So I'm not sure what movie it was.
It was before this. I feel like it was like maybe year 1. That could have been a decade before. I think there was just a weird time where it's kind of like, Jack Black.
Well, year 1 was a big flop.
Oh,
that was a pretty big flop. When he came back in The Office to play that movie role that Andy ends up watching, where he like falls in love with like his girlfriend's grandmother.
What a ridiculous
and the grandmother is going up the electric chair like up the stairs. And he's like, no, come back to me. No.
Anyways, so yeah, Goosebumps. I guess I'll have to slot that into my. Oh crap! Like,
maybe it was Kung Fu Panda. That was his name.
Oh yeah, Kung Fu Panda. He did make some money off that. Yeah.
But do people like pan that? I don't know.
Maybe it was Tropic Thunder.
He was good in Tropic Thunder doing the clumps.
Could be.
Anyways, I'm trying to find answers for you, Rossi, because it would be probably in that 08 range, because it's not School of Rock. I mean, that was
I think that was like good Jack Black. Anyways, let the people answer. Maybe Jack Black never was out of style. Who the hell do I know? He's like,
he was.
Yeah, I thought so. So, anyways,
I'd say this goes in your Sorry,
I'm going to put it in either comedy or wild card. So that or Paddington, flip flop.
Okay.
So I'm just stuck on action adventure. So I think right now I can either just explode this draft and screw the whole thing up, or I could try. Like I just don't, because like, could I also move? Do I move Creed up and then take a drama?
I didn't check Creed's box office. I got to take a look at that.
It's an action adventure. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, so, yes, you're right.
Or do I? Oh, this other one. Do I move? Is Goosebumps an action adventure? They're fighting off mysterious book creatures.
It's a venture. Yeah, I think you're having a good time there.
On that has been for us what it says in IMDb. It is under adventure, comedy, and family.
All right, so I'm gonna move. I'm just doing this because this is me. So I'm gonna take Goosebumps. I saw day of release 4D. So I'm moving that to action adventure.
That's great. That looks great on the list. You got Hunger Games, Kingsman, and then Goosebumps.
Yeah, and we all know who everyone saw. Where's the nostalgia hit, even for the youngins? And I am going to take in my now comedy. I'm going to leave this one out there. I want to take Trainwreck. I love that movie, but I'm not going to because I don't think it's going to help me. I don't know if this movie will help.
I like Trainwreck as well.
It's really good, but I think Amy Schumer has hit what I was talking about with Jack Black. It's gone.
Get out of here! Oh my god,
that movie's excellent.
I agree.
That
movie is really funny. Yeah,
there's not a bad
LeBron James. You make LeBron James a funny guy,
likable. They made LeBron James likable in 2015, which seemed like an impossibility.
Yeah.
everybody's
Bill
good.
Hader. Yeah,
Hader's great. Brie Larson's good. Why can't I think all of a sudden from
Colin
SNL?
Quinn, the
Colin
father's
Quinn,
great.
Everybody. But I'm not going to take
what
it.
made you guys want to see that movie? Because like I find okay, it was good.
I'll say
I
Amy
saw
Schumer
it reluctantly.
No, 2015. Amy Schumer was like the queen of comedy.
I was never a big fan of hers. I saw the movie reluctant. John Cena was in it as well. It was funny. But I was like very pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, it's good. It's watchable to this day. I just think she, for whatever, stealing bits. I don't really care what she did. I do the same thing. She's making money. She laughing. Anyways, so the comedy I will take is a movie that I personally adore. I watch every year. I think it's one of the funniest. It ties into holiday. So I will take The Night Before with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie. Fantastic freaking film.
I love that you selected this because this was going to be a toss-up between my last pick here for the wild card. This has quickly risen up the ranks of the Christmas movie marathon in our household. Love that movie. Do a lot of great things there.
And I'll be honest,
Michael Shannon's great.
Oh yeah. He's fantastic. Like, this is another one where, and I have to take a Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie because I love the man. The Walk was originally going to be potentially a drama that would have stink.
Right, that's right.
The movie kind of blows, though. I'm going to be honest. So I'm really happy with where I'm at. I'll let you guys finish out with your subpar drafts. I'll take the W and walk out of here.
Wow. I forgot how big of fans you guys were of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. For other Joseph Gordon-Levitt stands, go listen to PCP's episode devoted solely to the man.
Can I say something? Two things about that. One, I am a big Joseph Gordon-Levitt fan. Billy, like most things, somebody says something about it, it's a flavor of the week. Billy gets excited about it and starts telling everybody he loves him forever, or he's one of his top 5 actors. Billy has a lot of things, but he was great in that episode. Billy was awesome. He watched like 15 Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies that week alone. So,
jeez, really binged on it. So you putting in the effort over at PCP.
Oh, he's all dedication. Billy's all dedication.
That's what I like to see. Nick, why don't you round us out here?
So you joked about how I talk about Black Mass a ton. Or you said I was big upset that I didn't take that over Straight Outta Compton at first. But as an experienced drafter, I know, but just have a little patience, Rossi. So I know sometimes I go long, but Straight Outta Compton West, I knew that I had to imagine that was on your big board since you used to be knee deep in the rap game. You're kind of
it was somewhere there.
Right. So I had to make sure I got that before Black Mass, a movie I've talked about a ton on this show. Another movie I talked about in the early days of Change My Mind was this drama, romantic movie that may feature a cowboy, a bull rider and everything. Wes, I'm hoping you're picking up what I'm putting down. I don't know if you're there yet, but I am going to go with The Longest Ride for my wild card.
Oh, yeah. I remember this.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes. Thank you.
That is a throwback. Wow.
Yes. So now I know you guys did a little bit of pandering, more so Rossi than anybody else with that friggin' Star Wars pick that I'm pissed about because I actually like that movie. But for me, I always pick cinemas that I want to go to. And right now, I know we're going to go back through them all, but I had to take Longest Ride, and I knew I was going to get that last pick because not on Wes's radar. I don't even know if you've even seen that still, Wes. No way Rossi's ever seen that.
I never even heard
Not
of it.
Not on my big board at all. You can have that. That is with Eastwood?
Yeah, Scott Eastwood.
Yeah. Okay.
No, his son.
You made my decision very easy for me, Rossi, because I was going between The Night Before and this movie, which I think is a comedy cult classic. It was a divisive title when we were discussing this. It's Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Another instance where I think the sequel is better than the original. Adding Adam Scott is just genius to any property, whether it's a TV show on ABC or NBC or a movie like this.
This movie sucks.
It's hysterical. What's his name? The bald guy. Why am I blanking on him? He's in Ballers too. He plays Lou. He plays the best asshole. Like
Rob Corddry.
The best. Yes, Rob Corddry. Thank you. A Daily Show alum. The best asshole. Personal favorite of mine. You also get what's her name in there? The girl from Community. Also funny inside jokes with the wives. Yeah. She's got a weird name.
Oh yeah. I have it. Gillian Jacobs.
Yeah, Gillian Jacobs
with the G.
Yeah, Gillian
Anderson.
Yeah,
it's spelled Gillian. I don't know if it's pronounced Gillian or Gillian, but yeah,
no, it is.
So, Wes, do you like the first one too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm requesting you have to do this podcast. I'm requesting it.
We may
You need to do it because Hot Tub Time Machine 2 is trash. You guys once tried to proclaim that it was a cult classic.
It is a cult classic.
It's not a cult classic. I hate them both.
It's a cult classic according to me. I'm in the cult. Okay, how's that?
I wouldn't doubt it after meeting you. So.
We're having a good time, you know.
If there's ever a time where I can't do an episode, that would be the time for Wes to do it. I guess he'd have to ask you, Rossi, to do it with him because
you don't like the first Hot Tub Time Machine though?
I have to go back and rewatch it, but I don't remember liking it. No.
It's so good. It
is great. It's funny. It's just classic hijinks, you know. It's just guys doing dude stuff.
In some points, there are guys doing really crazy dude stuff. I think the first one's maybe one of the best ensemble casts of like that time for comedy because like it shouldn't have made sense. The mixture didn't make sense. And then John Cusack doesn't come back and they get Adam Scott, and I'm sorry, not for me.
Oh no, it's great. It's so funny. He's like wearing the man skirt. It's funny. It's great stuff. So that is. Let me put this in here.
Make sure you put that in. Don't forget that one.
I'll put the abbreviation in there for everyone in the call HTTM too. Now, Rossi, you are the guest here. Why don't you run down for our listeners your Build Cinema 2015?
Okay, in order of draft position, or do you want me to go in order of like category?
Do it any way you like, Rossi. This is a show of freedoms here.
Put it anywhere you want. Do it any way you like. I really appreciate this. I took
excuse me.
The first pick of the draft. In the first, I actually forget. I think I took Paddington in my first pick. My turnaround, I took Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Both films I have not seen. In my third pick, I believe that is when I took Creed, another film I did not see. I think those three alone should probably win me this thing, like by a mile. Just
you would be so disappointed in our listeners.
And then the last three movies I actually did see, these would probably be Ant-Man threw me all off. I thought Ant-Man was going to be like easy. By the way, the fact that Age of Ultron wasn't taken is delightful.
We had a lot of misses here too. We'll go over that after.
Go ahead.
Let me just finish it. So real quick, Paddington, Star Wars, Force Awakens, Creed, It Follows, The Night Before, Goosebumps, and The Night Before.
All right, so, Nick, what do you got?
I will say quickly on Age of Ultron that, we're going to go over that and the ones that we missed. I'm sorry. But for Blockbuster, I have Straight Outta Compton, but that is not the only Blockbuster featured on my roster. Action Adventure, I have Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2. Comedy, I have Ant-Man, which is definitely my favorite movie. Glad I got that in the first round. For horror animated, I went with The Animated, and I went with Inside Out. Drama, I went with Black Mass. And then for wildcard utility, I went with another drama, of course, one that's very near and dear to my heart, similar to Black Mass, but for different reasons, The Longest Ride.
All right. And rounding out the draft, I went with Jurassic World, Kingsman, The Secret Service, Pitch Perfect 2, Minions, Sicario, and the Mr. Irrelevant of the draft here, Hot Tub Time Machine 2, the Tom Brady pick, some might say.
Some might say.
Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
$199
that rounds
right
it out here. A couple things I'll say we missed real quick. The Revenant, Mad Max Fury Road seems like the biggest one. Trainwreck, although we did kind of talk about that for a moment or two. Spectre, I don't know how were you guys James Bond fans?
I'm not a James Bond guy,
this wasn't it. This wasn't the one. I don't think this has the popularity of the others.
Rossi, I would like you to tell the truth. Tell the truth. Because that was another movie on the big board there, Concussion. Will Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see that. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, those are on the only ones that you probably don't care, but my big board that I talked about Krampus. I talked about The Invitation, just movies I liked. Daddy's Home. It came out very end of the year. I thought that movie was good. Pixels. Now that movie absolutely ridiculous, but I just thought it had utility to it. And then a movie that has like a lot, again, another one of those like young teenage girl like buzz at the time. It's kind of faded since, but the movie called The Duff was very popular.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
It was because it became like a big thing with high school, and then like turned into it's almost like a girl that like we don't have to go through the whole thing, but like isn't very attractive, but you're kind of like, well, I'll like hang around with her to look cool. So that was like a major part, and that was like something that like became a craze and on the news and stuff. Now it's all just about this like, I don't know, some sort of disease or something that's going around. I don't really know much about it.
The latest TikTok trend of punching teachers.
Yeah, punching teachers, licking other people's butts. I don't
know. The Revenant was another one. Speaking of butt sniffing, we missed that there.
Yes, we did miss that one, and I have to admit I haven't seen the Mad Max stuff, and I feel like that is those were graphic novels originally, I think. So I gotta make sure that I see those. It's kind of a sin that I haven't. But for me, on my short list, The Big Short was one of the ones that obviously was a good option as well. I did have Pixels on there as well. Southpaw was another drama that I had. Southpaw was one, like if everything went to shit and I couldn't find another drama, I knew I would have had Longest Ride, but Southpaw is one that I like, but I don't necessarily love as some of the other ones. Creed was another good option. Peanuts movie was another like emergency case scenario, not one I've seen, but just in case I needed it, because I felt like there were areas that were thin in this year. And then Age of Ultron, of course, that was on my short list, but or my 18 team roster or draft pool, but I couldn't go with it because as much as I wanted theater that I like, I do, care a little bit about what the people think when it comes to the voting process. And people don't like Age of Ultron. Now, Wes and I went back and rewatched it, and we like it. We both admitted we like it a lot more than we thought we did. But still, it's not without its flaws. Still, I think we both had it C, Wes, or did you have it at an 80? I had it at 78.
I think it's 82, 84, something right around there. But again, we're not all MCU. We do a lot of MCU, Marvel's comic superhero stuff, but we like to think outside of the bone all the time. We don't have to do. There's plenty of other movies in the sea.
Well, it's true, but I usually want that stuff because that is my favorite shit, and if I can get that, I want to take it. But in this case, there were better options, and also I am pissed about the Star Wars one, Rossi, like that, especially because you didn't see it. It's like, come on, man.
No, yeah. Well, you had it. By the way, you could have taken it, and you probably should have taken it.
Not
over Ant-Man. You had the second pick.
Not over Ant-Man. I would not have taken it over Ant-Man because I think Ant-Man, I thought Ant-Man, I do not like a lot of the comedies from this year, and I thought Ant-Man was the best one still.
Oh, Ant-Man's one of the best movies of the year for just fun, just the fun, opportunity. And if you're going to sit down and watch any of these movies, Ant-Man's probably, out of all the movies drafted, probably my number one.
There you go.
Yeah,
or
it's up there. It's up there. Kingsman was a lot of fun too. I'm gonna say it. I love it. I like Ant-Man. Don't get me wrong. And we want to hear from you, the people, more importantly. So we'll have the poll coming out Wednesday, let's say mid-morning Eastern Standard Time. You'll be able to vote for Jason D. Rossi, Nicholas J. Askfryer, or myself, Wesley J. Sykes. And the J stands for Regan. The J is silent. You know the deal. But we'll pick a winner from as that kind of goes here. Rossi, where could the people get in touch with you, and what are you doing this week on PCP?
You can call my cell phone at 617. This week, they can get in touch with me at Jason D. Rossi at Pop Culture PD, even though we really don't do much on our Twitter account, and it's a thing. But
just follow in there.
Yeah, I appreciate any follows and that. We are the Girlfriends Podcast. So if you have a wife or a girlfriend, she'll probably like our show better than you will and interact with it more. But this week we're doing a complete Scream preview. So Scream 5 or Screeve, I think as it's going by on the internet because they have the 5 in the middle of the M or Scream is coming out this coming week. And we are bringing back. So we did the month of November. We did all of the Scream with 1, 2, 3, 4. And we reviewed all of those with some special guests. We're going to be bringing all the guests back for a 5-person table. So we'll have Rich Keefe of the Dork Podcast, a friend of the podcast Paige, and a friend of the podcast named Ben Zwyman to join us all. We're going to be what we want out of Scream 5, what we think is going to happen in Scream 5, and just kind of a conversation about the film. And will it be important? Will there be more after Scream 5?
Nice. I love it. I love
that's
it.
What we'll be doing.
A lot of synergy there with Scream 5 guests on the round table. I'm very, very happy to hear you.
Appreciate
Rossi, happy to have you aboard here. Sometimes we like to throw,
a bone
while you're down. No, sometimes I feel like, you get shit on too often, and it's not deserved because he's Mr. Positivity. Is there a wrestler named Mr. Positivity?
No, there's not, but
not in the history. No,
no, there was sarcastic positivity, but never someone that's genuinely positive for positive sake. That would be a heel.
Yes. Right. So that's positive.
Daniel Bryan, there you go. There was the yes movement.
So wait, Rossi, we were supposed to do a special Office episode, just you and I. It was like a watch along.
That's right.
Have you watched Scott's Tots yet?
I'm almost done with the series. I have seen Scott's Tots.
Dude, I didn't watch it because we were supposed to watch
That
it
was
together.
like 8 months ago.
So what? But guess what? I stuck to our agreement.
Phone. Let me check my phone.
This
Wendell
is a
and Nick
bunch of
Fryer.
bullshit.
Haven't
Well,
heard from you.
August.
August. Well, it was
That's going to happen, just like Jessica Jones season 3 on Dork, and apparently Sweeps Week 2021 from PCP, because we all had fun with that too.
Yeah, well, actually, if I can, and I've actually brought this up to Fryer definitely before, but there actually will be an official. So me and Billy have discussed. I think we're going to attempt, like what you did here, amazing work. It's good to get people involved. It's good to do voting. It's fun for the listener. Not at this point, because now it's just somebody talking about what they just listened to. But we are officially going to bring the DSG together. And you have to team up, not randos. We did sweeps where you kind of pinged people together. Mm-hmm. This time you're going to team your podcast partner for your main podcast, not your side podcast. So Fryer, you're going to have to make a choice, I guess. But because Wes, we already know it's you and Goo. But no, the point is we're going to have a Change My Mind versus Pop Culture Piledriver versus Dork versus Mac and Goo in I guess the best way to put it is a console war for the year of 2022. So what I'm by that is we're going to have 11 game console builds for each system that has been in the history of video games.
Okay.
So kind of like you do build a cinema per year. Think of that, but just Nintendo, Genesis, or Sega, Super Nintendo, a Nintendo 64, a PlayStation. Okay. So you have to dig into the banks. You're going to have to look up stuff. It's going to be 11 rounds, because that's we do the the unofficial podcasters dozen. So that will be happening several times, we're hoping, and maybe we could do it once the weather gets a little better and the fright of things maybe dips a little again once like June, because it's magical time of year. We could all maybe do it at somebody's house here outside, drinking a couple things, potentially smoking a couple things, mostly the beef if you're like me.
So
that's the goal. We're going to try to make this a very interactive,
smoking
fun
poles if you're Fryer. Am I right?
Hey, that's a style. We'll grease it up for him too. We'll do a grease pole contest.
Wait a minute, what's going on now? I was confused.
And just in case you were wondering, which nobody was, Shime and Doc will be involved, as well as kind of a host and draft analysts on these podcasts.
Okay. I like this. So there's a lot of thought. There's a lot of wheels in the motion here. I like this.
All right, make sure now you. Like you said before, Rossi, you're talking about all these things you're going to do. Make sure you fucking do it.
Email will be out. I need to get through the Scream one because I have to do a lot of work for that. A lot of work. And then after that, we're going to try to plot this first one for maybe end of this month, potentially. If that's too soon for a lot of people to make a Tuesday night available for themselves, depending on schedules, it will come maybe post Super Bowl.
You tell us and we'll be there, Rossi.
That's the West. I will say the one thing I like about West, no options. This is it. Be there.
Take it or leave it. Yeah. I've learned that from some of my friends. It just works out best that way.
It's very strong. You don't want people to give you opinions or options.
Well,
well, like any good communist society, the rules come from above. Yeah.
And with that, we bid Rossi adieu. Thank you very much, Rossi. We appreciate it.
God
Subscribe to this podcast. Leave a 5-star review. You don't get shit for it, but you should. Just know that you're a good person for doing it.
Sometime down the line, maybe we'll get them some stuff, but we appreciate Rossi very much as we turn into the Discharge Depot.
All aboard! I'm getting screwed up with the DSG and the Discharge Depot here.
Yes,
that's screwing me up.
We did bounce around a little bit. I'll go quick then so you can kind of reassess your situation. For me, I finished watching Good Omens. This is a show on Amazon Prime, book written by Neil Gaiman and Tara Pratchett way back. And Lauren actually had watched the show, rewatched it because she wants to watch season 2. Absolutely love this show. I'm drawing a blank on it's like Kate Beckinsale's like ex-husband, Michael Sheen, I think is who it is. And then the guy who plays the Purple Man in what's his name? In Jessica Jones. Great. The pair is outstanding. Watched Black Swan recently. Actually, had never seen that before.
Never saw that one, huh?
Oh, dude.
Did you watch that one by yourself or with the lady?
With the lady. So good.
You need to,
Finally watched Parasite. Took me long enough. And wow, like I totally get why I won Best Picture. That was outstanding.
Great stuff.
Just for so many different reasons. Second episode of the Book of Boba Fett, significantly better than the first one. So if you haven't watched that yet, make sure you go watch it. We're not going to do that on this show, a full review, because Wes is not a Star Wars guy. But I love this stuff, and I love Boba Fett. solid first episode. Definitely like some disappointing moments, but the second one was much better.
Love it. Yeah, I on the heels of the DSG topics of the week here, I started watching MacGruber, so I'm very excited to listen to what Dork is coming up this week.
Nice. Yeah, I have not watched that yet. Actually, speaking of that real quickly.
This week in Dork. Shared universe.
On top of everything else that's already been mentioned, actually, I don't know what Mac and Goo are talking about this week.
I think they might be doing the Mac and Gooey Vault.
Oh, wait, they just did the Goovy Awards. They're doing another Goovy Vault? Oh, for last year.
I think so. I think that's how it works.
That would make a lot of sense. I mentioned earlier what TLDR is doing this week. We had our interview with Sean Lewis, writer of The Scorched and also King Spawn. So it's him and Todd McFarlane writing all that stuff for Spawn right now. Had him on. We're also going to be doing What's New still. So everything that's coming out this week, we will go over. It'll be released in audio form later in the week, but we will be streaming as usual on Tuesdays. I've heard it both ways. Season 3. It's either episode 16 or they're like coming up on their end of year review. I always get confused. I saw their numbers.
It's a good show nonetheless, though.
Yes, they've been doing really well. Unlike some people, we're not going to take shots at the Pineapple Boys because we know they're grinding out real hard. Or maybe because Doc would get mad at me if I talk shit. I don't know. Either way. Speaking of Doc, you can follow him over on Twitch at Backcracker, Shime at Shime Time, and then Davies' only video game playing is done on YouTube on Dork's YouTube page. TBD for us again next week.
I think so. But who knows? Maybe we do another. We do original verse sequel here and make Rossi happy.
When Rossi comes on, he brings that up, and we usually do one shortly after that. So I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. We have options, yes, for sure.
But nevertheless, same bat time, same bat place as always.